We live in interesting times.
For the headlines.
A large, very strong typhoon churns towards Japan.
10 Filipinos were among the 47 passengers and crew members rescued after the plane they were riding in, Air Niugini Flight 73, crashed into the sea short of the runway of the international airport in Weno, Chuuk, in the western Pacific nation of Micronesia.
Brett Kavanaugh's contentious Supreme Court nomination will be put to an initial vote after a dramatic Senate hearing saw the judge fight back against sexual assault allegations recounted in harrowing detail by his accuser.
And the Iglesia Ni Cristo recently conducted an international aid to humanity in Long Island City in New York, particularly for the tenants of Queensbridge houses, the largest public housing development in North America.
I'm Alma Angeles, wherever you're watching from around the world. Thank you very much for joining us.
We welcome our viewers here in the Philippines and around the world. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sam Cepeda.
And now to the news. All right, first to Indonesia. The country was struck by a powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. But there were no immediate reports of deaths or injuries. The country's National Disaster Agency briefly issued a tsunami warning before canceling it. The strong quake hit central Sulawesi Island at a shallow depth of some 10 kilometers, just hours after a smaller quake killed at least one person in the same part of the country. The latest quake was a higher magnitude than those that killed hundreds on the island of Lombok earlier this year. Friday's tremor was centered 78 kilometers north of the city of Palu, the capital of central Sulawesi province. But it was felt some 900 kilometers south in the island's largest city, Makassar. Lisa Soba Palawan, a resident of Toraja, around 175 kilometers south of Palu, said the locals felt several quakes Friday. She said the last one was quite big. She added everyone was getting out their homes, shouting in fear. Indonesia is one of the most disaster-prone nations on Earth. The archipelago nation lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates collide and many of the world's volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur. A series of earthquakes that struck Lombok this summer killed about 500 people and forced hundreds of thousands into evacuation shelters or tents. In 2004, meanwhile, a tsunami triggered by a magnitude 9.3 undersea earthquake off the coast of Sumatra in western Indonesia killed 220,000 people in countries around the Indian Ocean, including 168,000 Indonesians.
A large, very strong typhoon turned towards Japan Friday, with the weather agency warning the storm would rip through the nation over the weekend, bringing violent winds and torrential rain. Typhoon Trami, packing gusts of winds of a maximum 162 kilometers per hour near its center, was in the Pacific, spiraling slowly towards Japan's southern islands. The typhoon was now moving northwest slowly, but was expected to turn eastward, coming very close to the islands of Okinawa and Amami on Saturday, the agency said in a statement. Please be on high alert against violent winds, high waves, and heavy rainfall, it said. After dumping torrential rain on the outlying islands, the typhoon is forecast to pick up speed and approach western Japan on Sunday, remaining very strong as it barrels over the mainland. Images from the International Space Station posted on Twitter by astronaut Alexander Gerst on Tuesday showed Trami's enormous eye, which he said was as if somebody pulled the planet's gigantic plug. Japan's main two airlines, JAL and ANA, have already started to cancel some domestic flights, scrapping more than 100 between them to the islands. If the forecast holds, it will be the latest in the series of extreme natural events to strike Japan. Western parts of Japan are still recovering from the most powerful typhoon to strike the country in a quarter of a century that claimed 11 lives and shut down the main regional airport in early September.
All right, meanwhile, 10 Filipinos were among the 47 passengers and crew members rescued after the plane they were riding in, the Air Niugini Flight 73, crashed into the sea short of the runway of the international airport in Bueno Chuk in the Western Pacific nation of Micronesia on Friday. Take a look. The Boeing 737 aircraft
may mga Filipino dyan, no? May mga Filipino.
May butoy nga eh.
See?
May butoy sa transport.
Buti may mga naka-standby na mga bangka dyan.
Hindi na po lang.
Now, the Boeing 737 aircraft hit the lagoon at 9:30 a.m. local time, 11:30 a.m. Philippine time. A group of small boats responded to the scene, rescuing all 47 passengers and crew. Cel Perez Pendergraft, a Filipino residing in Micronesia, said that 9 Filipino passengers were among the plane survivors who were taken to the Chuk State Hospital for treatment. A 10th Filipino, a flight crew member, was later identified and treated as well. The Air Niugini Boeing 737-800 was attempting to land at Bueno Airport in Micronesia, but ended up half submerged in Chuk Lagoon after the accident on Friday morning. Within minutes, locals scrambled a flotilla of small boats to pluck the 35 passengers and 12 crew from the water. Now, the airline said the plane, which was involved in a collision with another aircraft earlier this year, had landed short of the runway. Remarkably, it reported no serious injuries among those on the plane, which was making a scheduled stop on its way from the Micronesian capital, Pohnpei, to Port Moresby. The airline didn't detail what caused the accident, which occurred at about 9:30 a.m., as earlier said, but it said it had been informed that the weather was very poor with heavy rains and reduced visibility at the time of incident.
A defiant Brett Kavanaugh, President Donald Trump's nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court, angrily denies sexual assault allegations and blames Democrats for his rocky Senate confirmation process. Kavanaugh's passionate defense came after a university professor, Christine Blasey Ford, told the Senate Judiciary Committee that he sexually assaulted her 36 years ago.
Mark seemed ambivalent at times, urging Brett on.
I never committed sexual assault. My family and I intend no ill will toward Dr. Ford or her family. But I swear today, under oath, before the Senate and the nation, before my family and God, I am innocent of this charge.
Brett's assault on me drastically altered my life. For a very long time, I was too afraid and ashamed to tell anyone these details. I convinced myself that because Brett did not rape me, I should just move on and just pretend that it didn't happen. Sexual assault victims should be able to decide for themselves when and whether their private experience is made public. As the sexual assault. Apart from the assault itself, these past couple of weeks have been the hardest of my life. I've had to relive this trauma in front of the world.
None of these allegations are true.
Correct.
No doubt in your mind.
Zero. I'm 100% certain.
Not even a scintilla.
Not a scintilla. 100% certain, Senator.
You swear to God.
I swear to God.
And what you're saying, if I understand it, is that the allegations by Dr. Ford Ms. Ramirez and Ms. Swetnick are wrong.
Yeah, that is emphatically what I'm saying. Emphatically. The Swetnick thing is a joke. That is a farce.
Would you like to say more about it?
No.
Okay.
Strongest memory of the incident, something that you cannot forget. Take whatever time you need.
Indelible in the hippocampus is the laughter, the uproarious laughter between the two, and they're having fun at my expense. They were laughing with each other.
And you were the object of the laughter?
I was, underneath one of them while the two laughed. Two friends having a really good time with one another.
So I'll just ask you very plainly, Dr. Ford, is there a political motivation for your coming forward with your account of the assault by Brett Kavanaugh?
No, and I'd like to reiterate that, again, I was trying to get the information to you while there was still a list of other,
Thank you.
what looked like equally qualified candidates.
And yet they're not here to testify. Dr. Ford, I'd like to join.
Meanwhile, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham accused the Democrats of trying to destroy Brett Kavanaugh's life in an angry outburst during the Senate committee hearing. He said this is, quote, the most unethical sham he's heard in his life. Take a look.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it, because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process, you came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump wholeheartedly backed his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, after that dramatic Senate hearing. Judge Kavanaugh showed America exactly why I nominated him, the president tweeted just minutes after the close of the hearing. His testimony was powerful, honest, and riveting. Trump said, Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham, an effort to delay, obstruct, and resist. The Senate must vote. The allegations against Kavanaugh by Blasey Ford, a psychology professor in California, have threatened to derail Trump's bid to tilt the highest U.S. court to the right for years to come. Trump nominated Kavanaugh to replace Justice Anthony Kennedy, who had been a swing vote on a court now divided between 4 conservative and 4 liberal justices.
But I swear today, under oath, before the Senate.
All right. Meanwhile, U.S. senators reacted to Dr. Ford's testimony against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in the Judiciary Committee. Take a listen.
Dr. Blasey Ford gives new meaning to the word authentic. She comes across as genuine, honest. Her allegations are powerful and credible, and I believe her.
My experience as a former prosecutor, they have to tell their story to a jury box of strangers. This woman is having to tell her story to America, and she is doing an extraordinary job in recalling what she can, in standing up to the questions from a professional prosecutor, and I am just proud of how she's doing.
I think we've been very fair, and to my Republican colleagues, if you can ignore everything in this record, look at an allegation that's 35 years old, that's uncertain in time, place, date, and no corroboration, if that's enough for you, God help us all as Republicans, because this happens to us, it never happens to them. But let me tell you, my Democratic friends, if this is the new norm, you better watch out for your nominees.
Now, speaking in New York on Wednesday, President Trump maintained support for Kavanaugh, but said he was open to having his mind changed by Ford's testimony and mused about having to pick a different nominee. But after the end of the hearing, Trump tweeted, "Judge Kavanaugh showed America exactly why I nominated him. His testimony was powerful, honest, and riveting. Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham, an effort to delay, obstruct, and resist. The Senate must vote."
More news will be coming your way when Eagle News International returns.
We'll be back.
Going now to the UN General Assembly, Israel's Prime Minister accused arch-enemy Tehran of harboring a secret atomic warehouse, making deft use of ample props and vowing that his country would never let Iran develop nuclear weapons.
In May, we exposed the site of Iran's secret atomic archive. It's right here, in the Shorabad district of Tehran. Today, I'm revealing the site of a second facility, Iran's secret atomic warehouse. It's right here, in the Turkuzabad district of Tehran, just 3 miles away. 15 ship containers full of nuclear-related equipment and material stored there. Now, since each of those containers can hold 20 tons of material, this means that this site contained as much as 300 tons of nuclear-related equipment and material. Right here. That's worth
Israel bitterly opposes the Iran nuclear deal brokered by the United States, Russia, China, and European nations in 2015 and has congratulated President Donald Trump for walking away from the deal.
Whenever and wherever. So I want to use this opportunity to express Israel's appreciation to President Trump and Ambassador Haley for the unwavering support they've provided Israel at the United Nations.
Agents of plotting attacks in the United States and Europe, as well as being an aggressor in the Middle East. He accused the Iranian regime of brutally oppressing its own people for 4 decades and of waging violence in Iraq and Syria, arming Hezbollah in Lebanon, financing Hamas in Gaza, and firing missiles into Saudi Arabia.
Hezbollah, listen to this. Hezbollah is deliberately using the innocent people of Beirut as human shields. They've placed 3 of these missile conversion sites along Beirut's international airport. Here's a picture that's worth 1,000 missiles. We will continue to act against you in Syria. We will act against you in Lebanon. We will act against you in Iraq. We will act against you whenever and wherever we must act to defend our state and to defend our people. 15 kilograms of radioactive material. So I want to use this opportunity to express Israel's appreciation to President Trump and Ambassador Haley for the unwavering support they've provided Israel at the United Nations.
All right. Meanwhile, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, speaking at the United Nations General Assembly, accused U.S. President Trump's administration of undermining efforts towards a 2-state solution. Take a look.
الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية تعتبر وسيطا، لكن بعد الآن نظرتنا للولايات المتحدة أنها لا تصلح وسيطا وحدها. في كل يوم يدوسون قدسية، لكن توجت ممارستها بهذا القانون.
Now, in response to Israel earlier, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif dismissed Israeli claims that Tehran was harboring a secret atomic warehouse. No arts and craft show will ever obfuscate that Israel is the only regime in our region with a secret and undeclared nuclear weapons program, Zarif said in a tweet. He called on Israel, saying it was time to fess up and open its illegal nuclear weapons program to international inspectors. How can Israel, as the only holder of nuclear weapons in the Middle East, so shamelessly accuse the country whose programs have repeatedly been declared as peaceful by the IAEA, the UN nuclear watchdog? Iran's official IRNA news agency quoted Zarif as saying, He said Israel and the United States stood alone on the world stage as policies forced by Netanyahu and America had driven them both to isolation.
All right, moving on now to other news. Dutch police arrested 7 men suspected of plotting to carry out a major terrorist attack at a public event using explosive belts and an AK-47 assault rifle, according to the public prosecutor's office. Officers had placed a group of people under surveillance, a central figure being a 34-year-old man of Iraqi origin, convicted in 2017 of attempting to reach territory controlled by the jihadist Islamic State group. Now, those arrested by elite special anti-terrorist police teams with helicopter support ranged in age from 21 to 34. The suspects came from Arnhem, the port city of Rotterdam, and villages close to those 2 cities. 2 others in the group also had convictions related to attempts to travel to Iraq or Syria. One of the men from Arnhem wanted to commit an attack with a group at a major event in the Netherlands and kill many victims, according to the Dutch intelligence service. And that is the that came from the prosecutor's office. Police had yet to identify the target of the planned attack, which the prosecutor's office said was to have included a separate car bombing. The suspects, who investigators said were in possession of small arms when they were detained, are expected to appear in court in Rotterdam on Friday local time.
President Duterte promised to continue his relentless fight against corruption and illegal drugs, which reduced crime rate by 49%.
First that I promised you, I said I will try my very best to stop corruption. And here is an entity, hindi lang man, the lawyer himself justifying the contract, even if it was really a fraud all along. And you can even see even the soul of the contract would tell you that it was fundamentally wrong. Kaya nung natapos ako, pag-uwi ko dito, here comes a
Based on the latest government's real numbers data, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency and Philippine National Police have already conducted 99,485 anti-drug operations, resulting in the arrest of 143,335 personalities since government's war on drugs began in mid-2016. He also said that government forces do not need to stage a coup to oust him, saying he is ready to step down if they give him a good reason to do so.
I can swallow it, 1 or 2. Pero yung medisina, por Diyos, sabi ko, huwag ninyong talagang pumutok ako. And in front of all the officers of the police and the armed forces, I said, sayang naman yung pagod ko, wala man yung mangyayari. Since I cannot stop corruption, I am now offering to step down as president. Sabi ko na wala man tao dito to witness it. If the 5 major commanders of the Navy, Army, Air Force, and Agbayalde was there, kung magtindig kayo and say that my time is up, I will go. Not because I am afraid of you or I am afraid to die. We will all die. Ang akin na lang, sabi ko, if you do it, do not do it with a melodramatic thing.
The president justified his crackdown on illegal drugs, saying the problem has contaminated several Filipinos.
I know that there are policemen that ito yung mga ninja na, and they are the ones killing. Yung hindi ka makaremit sa kanila, it's an organized crime actually. Either papatayin ito kung ulol na ito o ako ang papatayin ito. Hindi na talaga yan because they have tasted ng dugo nga ng the devil. So yan ang challenge natin sa gobyerno.
All right, in other news, she was once the face of abused maids in Hong Kong. Imprisoned, starved, and beaten so badly, she lost control of her bodily functions. Take a look. Now, 4 years after her horrific ordeal made global headlines, Indonesian Erwiana Sulistianingsi is a university graduate and fighting for the rights of domestic helpers in the southern Chinese city and beyond. Erwiana completed a degree in economics this month, the culmination of a dream that brought her to Hong Kong in 2013 before her life was turned upside down.
Saya punya mimpi pengen mencari modal untuk kuliah, makanya saya pergi ke Hong Kong untuk bekerja. Tapi setelah kejadian itu saya merasa ya sepertinya mimpi saya akan ya saya urungkan lagi gitu. Tapi ternyata setelah mendapatkan kasus dan banyak sekali pihak yang menawarkan saya beasiswa.
Now, widespread media coverage of Erwiana's torture had one unexpected benefit. She was offered scholarships to study. She chose economics partly to understand why so many people in this world have to migrate for work.
Setelah lulus, ya tentunya saya tidak ingin lagi menjadi buruh migran. Dan saya pun tidak ingin lagi rakyat Indonesia ini menjadi buruh migran dan tidak dilindungi di sana, diperlakukan semena-mena.
Now, Erwiana plans to take that message to demonstrations outside the annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank in Bali next month. She now works on behalf of migrant workers, including pushing for the release of former Filipina maid Mary Jane Veloso, who's on death row in Indonesia for drug smuggling. Most domestic workers in Hong Kong are from poor communities in Indonesia and the Philippines and are vulnerable to abuse by employers and employment agencies. Migrants from both countries have also suffered injury or worse in the Middle East and other parts of the world. In February, the death of a Filipina maid in Kuwait, whose body was found this year stuffed in a freezer, sparked outrage in the Philippines. Also this year, Indonesian domestic helper Adelina Sao died in hospital after being rescued from her employer's house in Malaysia's Penang state with wounds covering her body. Her boss was charged with murder. Now, it's these stories that prompted Erwiana to fight for workers' rights and never give up on herself, even when she doubted her chances.
Paling tidak teman-teman tahu hak-hak teman-teman sebagai buruh migran, tahu tentang hukum ketenagakerjaan di negara penempatan, tahu bahasa, budaya negara penempatan, dan paling tidak tahu kemana harus melapor, dan juga bergabunglah dengan organisasi buruh migran di negara setempat.
A strong and shallow earthquake with a 6.1 magnitude struck central Indonesia Friday, geologists said, but no tsunami warning was issued. The quake was centered around 18 kilometers, or that's 11 miles deep, just off the coast of Sulawesi Island. The U.S. Geological Survey said there were no immediate reports of damage, and Indonesia's meteorology, climatology, and geophysics agency said there was no risk of a tsunami. Indonesia is one of the most disaster-prone nations on Earth. The archipelago nation lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates collide and many of the world's volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur.
Narito na ang umaga.
All right, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, recently conducted an international aid to humanity in Long Island City in New York, particularly for the tenants of Queensbridge houses, the largest public housing development in North America. The Iglesia Ni Cristo, upon the directive of INC Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, gave more than 1,200 Goodwill bags containing food and other items of immediate need to the residents of Queensbridge in the morning of September 14. Here's Joanne Blanco Soriano of BBC New York.
Queensbridge Houses in New York is the largest public housing development in North America. It reached notoriety in rap and hip-hop music due to past residents like Nas and Mobb Deep. The complex opened in 1939 and now houses over 8,000 residents.
I was born and raised in Queensbridge houses. It was predominantly Italian, Polish, Greek. I remember as a little girl playing with a diverse group of people that lived in the building. As time moved on, more African Americans moved in, Hispanics, but it was always a family unity here in Queensbridge. What I found out from going to meetings throughout the citywide, you have seniors who are on a fixed income, have worked all their lives, retired, but they're on a budget. It's not enough. After you pay your rent, you gotta buy toiletries and things of that nature. You might have a senior that might eat once or twice a day.
As of 2017, 1 in 14 New York City residents live in public housing throughout the 5 boroughs.
Several organizations have helped over the years, but today, the Iglesia Ni Cristo is providing aid to humanity by giving care packages to residents.
In cooperation with the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo provided over 1,000 parcels of non-perishable food and toiletries, like shampoo, toothbrushes, and toothpaste to the residents. Residents thanked the Iglesia Ni Cristo for their generosity.
First of all, I wasn't shocked because you guys were with us on our family day, our annual family day, and you guys came out like in droves, and you were wonderful. So when RJ and Minister Jojo proposed to me that you wanted to do this event today, I was like, hoo-ha! Thank you, Jesus, because we gotta come together and do things together.
I thank God for y'all, for family. Y'all like family to us, because we all families.
It just feels good to see everybody come out, and you guys, we need this. We need this. We need for everybody to come out more and more, though. You brought out a lot of people today, you know. Thank you.
This is another example of how the Iglesia Ni Cristo's Aid to Humanity program is impacting local communities around the globe. Reporting from Queensbridge in New York, this is Joanne Blanco Soriano, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Joanne. Eagle News International will be right back.
Stay with us.
appropriate ratings sa lahat ng TV shows. Para ugaliin ng pamilya ang responsableng panonood. Teamwork tayo, parents!
Rated G, good for all. Oops, rated PG. Dapat may mga magulang para sagutin ang mga tanong ng kabataan.
Grabe, rated SPG, maselan!
Higpitan ang paggabay.
Pag rated MTRCB, rated responsable.
Health is our most important.
The Philippines is currently experiencing challenges such as elevated inflation and current account deficit, but Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said, "This is just a phase and the economy remains strong." Take a look.
Our growth performance for the first semester of this year was below expectation, hampered by elevated inflation and supply issues. Like the rest of the economies of the world, the Philippines is not exempted from challenges. But what differentiates our economy from many is the decisiveness, the extent, and the pace by which we are implementing policy and infrastructure reforms. We remain one of the best performing economies in the region, and our outlook is strong. We also remain on course towards our goal of medium term and beyond. These goals are to reduce poverty incidence from 21.6% in 2015 to just 14% by 2022, to make our growth more inclusive by addressing the infrastructure deficiencies that stymie productivity, and to induce more investments to open up more jobs for the next generation of Filipinos. The more remarkable aspect of our growth performance this year is that it is increasingly fueled by investments. As a share of GDP, capital formation, which is the most comprehensive measure of investments, rose to 27.4% during the first half of 2018, compared to the 25.4% in the same period of last year. This is remarkably higher than the 21.3% average share of investment to GDP for the past 16 semesters. With improvements in the ease of doing business, investments are flowing into the Philippine economy. Net direct foreign investments rose by 42.4% to $5.8 billion in the first half of 2018, from $4 billion from the same period of last year. This reflects stronger investment confidence in the Duterte administration's decisiveness in pushing ahead with its economic reform agenda.
Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Deputy Governor Diwa Gunigundo said the economy experienced 78 quarters of uninterrupted growth, although the challenge was how to sustain this momentum. The economy grew by 6.3% in the first half, lower than the expected 7% to 8% targeted by the country's economic managers at the start of the year.
In golf, Tiger Woods teed off an electric atmosphere at his first Ryder Cup since 2012 on Friday as defending champions United States launched their quest for a first win on European soil in 25 years. Woods, a 14-time major winner, snapped a 5-year win drought only 5 days ago to cap a sensational comeback season after spinal fusion surgery and was set to attract huge crowd in a feature morning 4-ball match alongside Masters champion Patrick Reed against British Open champion Francesco Molinari of Italy and English rookie Tommy Fleetwood. More than 7,000 spectators at Le Golf National jammed into the largest first-tee grandstand in Ryder Cup history, cheering and screaming to produce a roar unique to the emotional atmosphere of the Yingyal Team Golf Showdown. 4 morning 4-ball matches were set to be followed by 4 afternoon foursome matches on Friday and Saturday, with 12 concluding singles matches on Sunday. The Americans need 14 points to retain the trophy, while Europeans need 14.5 points to win for the 9th time in 12 attempts. This marks only the second Ryder Cup in continental Europe after 1997 in Spain. In boxing, HBO is walking away from professional boxing after 45 years of live fight programming, the US cable network confirmed on Thursday. HBO's long association with the sport began in 1973 when it carried George Foreman's stunning knockout of reigning heavyweight world champion Joe Frazier. The network pioneered modern pay-per-view coverage of boxing. The fighters who have appeared in more than 1,000 bouts aired by HBO include the who's who of sports' biggest names. Most recently, HBO produced a highly anticipated rematch between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin for the unified middleweight title. The only remaining fight card scheduled to air on HBO is on October 27 at Madison Square Garden, headlined by an International Boxing Federation middleweight title bout between Daniel Jacobs and Sergey Deverenchenko. HBO Sports noted in its statement that boxing is now available on host of networks and in streaming services. Alvar Tokyo handed Morocco its second defeat, 84-73, earlier in the day in the FIBA Asia Championship Cup at Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. Alex Kirk had 23 points and 11 rebounds, while Daiki Tanaka had 17 points for Alvar Tokyo, which put on a fitting follow-up to its big win over reigning champion Sporting Al Riyadi Beirut the day before. Alan Durham carried the fight for Morocco in the fourth quarter to no avail as the ball slipped to 0-2. Their chances of making it to the semifinals flickering away. A win by Mono Vampire over Al Riyadi in the second game of the quadruple header on Friday will formally boot Morocco out of semi-final contention. And these are the stories for EN Sports. I'm Ben Bernaldez and I am 1-25.
All right, moving on now to London. Rhea Flores takes us to a Filipino dirty ice cream store in Piccadilly Circus, Central London. Take a look.
The weekend of the grand opening of a Filipino dessert cafe in London Chinatown, Mama Sa's Dirty Ice Cream is a popular dessert place with a range of traditional Filipino treats.
Hi, my name is May McLennan.
Hi, my name is Omar Shah.
We opened Mama Sa's last year in Cage Town Road, July 1st, and we opened it because we felt like we had no representation of Filipino food or Filipino dessert, and also as well,
I wanted to eat ice cream.
Omar loves ice cream.
I mean, there was something missing. You know, we have other restaurants along the same street as Mama Sa's in Kentish Town, and we thought a dessert parlor would complement our other spaces. And the more we researched, we thought, you know what, there's so much Filipino desserts. That's what we want. And it's a great, this is a fun way to present and introduce our food and our culture to non-Filipinos. When we opened up Mama San's, it wasn't just to have one location there. We wanted really, the mindset was to have a few spots open and scattered around London. Why Chinatown? They actually approached us.
Yeah, you were actually in the middle of looking for a new place.
Yeah, we had our press releases ready, our pictures ready. It was all written up, and then they contacted us and they said they want us to be part of Chinatown. And
they wanted to have like a Filipino representation.
There was nothing
in
missing
Chinatown,
here.
so that's really why.
It is London's first Filipino ice cream parlor. The ice cream made fresh every hour of every day. It includes a range of ice cream flavors such as ube and guyabano, as well as various milkshakes. One of the most popular desserts being the halo halo shake, consisting of the many ingredients such as beans and coconut gel, topped with shaved ice and evaporated milk, finished off with a nice scoop of ube ice cream. Mama San's already has a shop in Kentish Town. This is the opening day of the one in Chinatown, a very popular place in London filled with many tourists. The shop will hopefully attract many customers with eye-catching desserts.
After the grand opening of Mama San's in Chinatown, it will help to promote Filipino food and culture. I am Rhea Flores and I am 1 with 25.
Our junior correspondents, Ariane and Seth, had a chance to check out 626 Night Market in California. The 626 Night Market is the largest Asian-themed night market in the United States. It aims to unite and empower the community by serving as a platform for showcasing local entrepreneurs, businesses, artists, and talent. Watch this.
In North America, summertime night markets are a popular destination for adventurous foodies. And if you're a foodie that's hangry, then there's a place we found where you can put all your food frustrations to rest. The 626 Night Market in Arcadia, California. Let's taste it!
Sweet, savory, salty. Whatever the desired flavors, the 626 Night Market has food you would expect, and hard to find unique creations that everyone in the family can enjoy.
Why are you here at the 626 Night Market?
We want to give people space to take a break and let them try our best food. We have rinjao cake, we have soy custard cake, and we have tao jiao drink.
The people, when they come here, what are their favorite dish?
Most people, they order rinjao cake because this one is really pretty. We have roast one, that's a top seller. Our tao jiao drink is unique. You can find it at other place. You only can eat and drink here. So people like it and they want to try it.
Can I taste it? What are you serving at the 626 Night Market?
Today we're serving at Big and Long their potato swirls. We have 4 flavors. We have barbecue, sour cream, garlic, and cheddar. So we wash the potato first, cut the corners so we have an even space, and then we spiral it on a spiral cutter, and then we dip it in a fry mix so it becomes crunchy and crispy. We fry it first, and then we put the powder on the flavor.
Why is the potato swirl so popular? I see everyone having them.
It's part of the 66 experience, so everybody likes the swirl because it's been here since the first day of 66. And they're really like potato chips. Who doesn't like potato chips, you know?
May I taste them?
Good food paired with good company is what makes the night market a satisfying memory of the summer season.
We're serving pad thai, chow mein, pad see ew, fried rice, all the typical simple Thai dishes you would see out there in the market. We do like with chicken and pork skewer and 1 egg rolls, or we can do that separately too. We also sell drinks. Thai tea, Thai iced coffee, the most popular ones at our store that we usually get bought very fast like that.
What is that dish you're holding in your hand right now?
So the dish that I'm holding on my hand right now is the pad thai chicken and pork combo with the 1 egg roll. It's really good. It's the most popular dish out there that gets sold out with a snap of finger.
Also, can I taste it? You have such a long line at this restaurant. What are you serving?
We are serving the live grilled Maine lobster and garlic noodles. So a lot of people call this the lobster nest.
Why did you choose 626 Night Market as a place to serve food?
This is a great place to showcase what we do because there's a lot of people who come here to get food. So a lot of people really line up for this.
Can you please describe the food that you have in your hands right now?
So again, this is the lobster nest, our most popular item. We start with the live grilled lobster. We fly them out from Maine every day. We split them, we blanch them, and then we grill them with butter. And you have a choice of regular butter or Cajun butter. And then we do have the garlic noodles, which is chow mein and garlic confit with sesame oil and Parmesan cheese.
May I taste it? There's good news for hungry foodies in the Bay Area. 626 Night Market will be opening up at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, California. Visit www.norcalnightmarket.com for more info. And remember, if you're driving to Northern California, I need a ride too. Reporting from Arcadia, California for Eagle News, my name's Ariana Andrade. And my name is Seth Ross. And we are 1 with 25.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr. Also check out our boards and Pinterest and pictures on Instagram. I'm Sam Cepeda. Thanks for joining us.
And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angeles and
we're 1 with 25.